All right, welcome to Football Cruise on Naija Footballers TV, the very first edition of the year 2023. It's always good to be back on the show. And with me today, right on time, I have Mr. Segun Akinte with us on the show today. Segun, how are you doing?
Very good. Good to be back again this year on Naija Footballers Football Cruise.
Yeah, you're looking really, really good, and good to have you on the show as well.
Yeah,
Bolu, my right-hand man, always here with me on the show. Bolu, welcome to the show again.
Yeah, thank you very much, and a happy new year to all a belated happy new year to all our viewers. Excited to discuss football again.
All right, talking about the new year, and it was right on time to have you on the show, Segun. Before we go on the first break on the show, the NPFL is back. I mean, we hope it's back and better.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say, but in an abridged version, we've seen 3 match weeks being played.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for the new NPFL season, and what are you expecting from now to the end of the season?
Okay, so I'm expecting it to be business as usual. Nothing really different from what they did last year. So I know it to be business as usual. Hopefully the league, we see the conclusion of the league this year. Hopefully we get better. Well, we've been seeing games this year, a few games. I think IMC, we give them kudos on that, but they still need to make sure it remains consistent, because last year we also saw games last year, and mid last year we stopped it. They stopped, and we stopped seeing games on the NPFL. So I think this year, I hope they can continue showing games. I hope the organization gets better. But all in all, I wish the all 20 teams best of lucks for the season ahead. And I just hope we get a conclusive ending to the season.
All right, Bolu. So let me come to you now. This past weekend, we had 3 away wins in the NPFL. So far, in 28 games played, there've been 8 away wins. So, and there's this talk about the league that, away teams need a win. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, this is happening at the very beginning of the season. Do you think it's a welcome development, or what do you make of it?
Well, on paper, it looks like there's a change, but I don't really think it's any major thing, in the sense that the organizational factors around the NPFL haven't changed. The scheduling mishaps really haven't changed either. So we still have away teams struggling to get to away grounds. We have away teams having problems getting back from away games, and all those things are still, even in match day 2, they are still existing. So I don't think it's a matter of maybe anything about the organization being different or whatever. I think it's just probably a situation where it's the beginning of the season, and players are probably in a very good shape, or maybe the away teams have not got themselves, or whatever it might be. It's probably just an early season thing. It's not like it's really reflective of anything that has changed in the NPFL per se. So, but nevertheless, it's still a welcome development. At least we're seeing a few more away wins, and hopefully those teams can keep it up for the rest of the season.
Segun, Bendel Insurance surprise package, perfect record so far, 3 wins from 3. Is it surprising for you? I mean, Shooting Stars, they are the Nottingham Forest of the league, signed a lot of players. What can you say about Bendel Insurance start the season so far?
Quite shocked that a newly promoted team could get such clean records, 3 wins out of 3, and they got a very big win at Plateau last week. So I was shocked. They got, and this week they beat, and they also had like a 2-1 home win this week also. So it's quite shocking for a newly promoted team. Maybe they might be the Remo of this season. Remo last year was that shocking newly promoted team that ended 4th. So this season maybe Bendel United too could be that same Remo, and I hope they could continue this push, and they are well organized to finish the league strong.
And we also hope the league will come to a favorable end as we look ahead to the future games of the season. Now, moving on, we're going on a quick break on the show, guys. There's a fantastic goal scoring battle going on in this area with Nigerians in the top of that. We're going on a quick break now. When we return, we'll go into that. Stick around, guys. It is still Football Cruise on Naija Footballers TV. Welcome back, guys. It is still Football Cruise on Naija Footballers TV. Guys, we've talked about the NPFL. Now, let's get into the show now. In this Serie A, I mean, is that goal scorers battle is getting really, really intense. A few weeks ago, it was Osimhen against Juventus, 2 goals and an assist. First time scoring against Juventus. And, this past weekend, Ademola Lookman was like, hold my beer. Like, if you could do this against Juventus,
I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it as well. 2 goals and an assist as well from Ademola Lookman. I mean, what do you make of Lookman's season so far? Has it been surprising for you? It's his highest scoring individual season so far. What can you say about Lookman? It's been fantastic so far for Atalanta.
So Lookman, his figures this season truly has been shocking. Like, we've never known him as a goal scorer. I think Gasperini unlocked something that we've not seen in Ademola Lookman, and it goes to show the how important coaching is to a player's development. Some players are just not bad. Maybe they just had coaches that couldn't see beyond what we could see. Maybe that's why. So for Ademola Lookman's case, Gasperini has been able to push him to that height that I'm sure if someone told Ademola Lookman that he would be on 11 goals by now before the start of the season, considering his antecedents in Leicester and in Leipzig, I'm sure he might not have seen himself on this high pedestal. But good one for Ademola Lookman. I'm quite shocked, but I think that centre forward positioning also is really also helping him out. He's been able to do so well, positioning himself as I think he's a backup 9 to. He doesn't play as a full 9. I think there's this young. He plays as a second striker to one lone storm guy from Denmark that they just signed. Yeah. So that position is really fine for him, and he's also playing their penalties. So that's also helping his goal tally. But so far, he's been having a fantastic season in Italy, and I see him also really pushing Osimhen to the limits on that with that goal scoring at the end of the season for the top goal scorer, and that's also a plus for Nigeria. So we know we have a Lookman also that we could introduce as a second striker in Nigeria or also as a wing, and it's good that we have two informed players for Ademola Lookman and Osimhen.
For some players, their cases are peculiar. I've seen players come into a new league, they dominate straight up, right into it. And safe to say that's been the case of Lookman. Your first season in the Serie A,
exactly.
After several loan moves, you finally got a permanent move. And like a place you've settled in, brilliantly, a place you call home. Atalanta, they've been a good team even before Lookman. They've been playing fantastic football under the manager as well. Yeah. But Bolu, he was handed that extra responsibility. Do you think it has helped his game improve? Like you talked about, he's on penalty duties now for Atalanta. So do you think that gave him that extra edge? Like, okay, you're an important figure in the team, because this can help players as well when you feel you have that importance for your team as well. So do you think that has also played a part for Lookman so far at Atalanta?
Yeah, I agree, but then I also think it's more a general case of him leaving his comfort zone of being in England, being around English football, because we saw in English football he was regarded as a winger. He was regarded as a creative winger that dribbles. But now in Italy, his game has been reformed a bit. Now he's more of a central player. He's more of a goal-getter in Italy. And, Ademola has always been that explosive kind of player. So, him channeling his focus into the central areas, into trying to get goals, is actually really, like Shegun said, the coaching has really helped him to actually just focus himself to be a goal scorer. And it's just surprising really to see this amount of quality from Ademola, and enjoying the fact that he would actually be appreciated a lot in Italy now, which any player really would love that. So I think it's very good for him. And seeing the penalties is also a responsibility for him in a big team such as Atalanta, actually taking penalties for them and competing at the top of the goal scorer charts now behind Osimhen. And aside that, I would also like to note the fact that his second goal against Juve was a header. I've probably never seen Ademola Lookman score a header. I haven't seen him as well. And it wasn't just a fluke header. It was a very wonderful, fantastic header. I jumped the defender and placed the header fantastically. Even the manager was surprised he could score a header. Yeah, it was, and that's just part of the things we are saying. The confidence bringing out different levels of his game, and it's just nice to see Ademola now firing on all cylinders. And you just cannot imagine if he continues on this momentum in the next 2-3 years, what he will become. How many goals you will actually have in a top league like that. So far so good. It's very good for him, and to see that he left his comfort zone to actually get what he's getting now, and in a very cheap deal for Atalanta as well. And we just found out, because if we cast our minds back to Leicester last season, we're expecting Leicester to make the deal, his loan deal permanent. Yeah. And apparently why he went to Atalanta eventually was because Leicester's head of recruitment went to Atalanta, and because of his knowledge of Ademola Lookman, actually recommended him to be signed to the team, to Atalanta. And wow, what a move it has proved to be.
Most of his goals, or few of his goals, have been from penalties, and a lot of people have seen few comments that most of these goals are penalties. But to score penalties as well, it's not easy as well.
It takes balls.
We are not trying to compare both players now. We're not trying to compare Ademola Lookman and Osimhen now. I mean, it's healthy competition for the national team. We want to see players competing against each other. And I believe both players might have been communicating with each other. Say, guy, calm down, stuff like that. But we've seen Osimhen take penalties for a few penalties for Napoli, and he missed. The game against Liverpool comes to mind. So do you think it's an advantage for one player? Let's say for Lookman now, taking penalties over Osimhen. If you look at the games per goal ratio, Osimhen is doing well, but do you think penalties might just, nick it for Lookman at the end of the day?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I would still tip Osimhen to finish ahead of Lookman, even Lookman taking penalties. But penalties is also an edge to close that gap with Osimhen. Osimhen would, because of the team Osimhen plays for, that's like basically the best team in Italy, one of the best teams in Europe, and they are really creating many chances. If Osimhen is not getting the goals, the other guy is getting the goals. Elmas is getting the goals, so they create a lot of chances. So, and I know those chances will keep on coming to Osimhen. And Osimhen, the version of Osimhen we are seeing now is not that Osimhen that would see 5 chances and lose 4. He's seeing 5 chances, is bearing 4. Maybe 1 hits the bar. You hardly see him miss those big chances. So I think
it's not Nunes.
Yeah. Okay.
You should know that very well yourself.
Okay. So it's bearing those chances as it comes. So I still see Osimhen holding on to that top highest goal scorer, holding on to the top on the highest goal scoring charts. But Lookman taking penalty duties would also help him get more goals, closing that gap. But I don't see him tipping, tilting Osimhen off that top of the goal scoring chart. I don't see it.
So let me put you on the spot now in a nutshell. Osimhen, Lookman, who finished top? Osimhen for you. Bolu, Osimhen, Lookman, who finished top for you?
Osimhen, Golden Boot winner, title winner. That's it.
I mean,
you added that well.
Yeah, because no Nigerian has actually won that award. Might actually be a big fit for either of them.
And Obafemi played in that league, right?
Yeah, played in the league as well.
Played in that league as well.
Whoa!
Both players are breaking records, shattering records for their expectations. It's good to see Osimhen. I mean, the highest scoring Nigerian in this year, and Lookman's brace this past weekend. Is the first Atalanta player to score 10 plus goals in his first Serie A season. That's massive achievement from these two Nigerians, and we're just happy they are Nigerians and they transfer that form to the national team. That's just what we want to see, and we hope. Earlier in the season, Atalanta were in the title push as well. They just kind of dropped a beat, but Napoli, they're flying on us. They've been steady as well, and bottom line is these players. We hope they don't get injuries as well, because those injuries can derail your form and derail your career and all that. So we just don't want to see the injuries and all that. But kudos to these two young strikers. For Bolu, you said Osimhen. It's Osimhen. You as well. You want Osimhen to me. Something just tells me, maybe Lookman for me. Lookman might just go on to win that goal scorer award. But I mean, we wish two players all the best, and they stay fit from now to the end of the season. For Nigerian strikers, we are doing well in all cylinders. In France, don't forget, Murphy is on 12 goals, rubbing shoulders with Mbappe and the likes. In Belgium, Paul Onuachu, I mean, we can't emphasize that enough. He's the Haaland
of Belgium. He's the king of that league.
The king of Belgium. I can go as well to the championship. Chuba Akpom, 13 goals as well.
On fire.
Don't forget, you might be asking why I'm mentioning Chuba Akpom. In 2019, this guy has pledged his allegiance to play for Nigeria, but I mean we are stacked up front. So maybe the competition there might just be really, really, really strong to break in that attacking lineup. So guys, we hope these injuries doesn't derail these players, as we look forward to the end of the season and that next international break in March against Guinea-Bissau for the AFCON qualifier. So guys, with that is a wrap on the show today, the very first edition of the new year, and we hope to kick on as the year progresses. Don't forget to always keep it up with us across all our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for premium Nigerian football content. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've been with Shegun Akinte on the show, and of course with Bolu as well on the show. Till we come away again next time, keep cruising.